This message is for a specific group of people who want access to my world, people who want to know who I really am, people who are considering working with me, partnering with me, investing with me, or learning from me. If that is not you, you can leave now. No hard feelings. But everything I say from this point forward is going to filter my entire world. I'm done repeating myself. I'm done explaining my standards to people who do not have standards. I'm done giving time and access to people who do not value it. My name is Jason Trester. I run Kingdom Coaching, Marketing Masters, and Trester companies. My life is guided by my relationship with God, not religion. I'm not religious. Religious crowds judge Jesus. Religious crowds crucified Jesus. Religious people still judge what they do not understand today. I care about relationship, integrity, character, and purpose, not rituals, not pretending, not politics. We receive more than 3,500 applications. People wanting jobs, partnerships, coaching, deals, proximity. Most of them were not ready for the standard I lead with. We do not operate in comfort. We do not operate in excuses. We operate at the top 1% standard. High performers and complacent people cannot live in the same room. High achievers feel drained around people who accept average. Complacent people feel threatened by people who take responsibility. That's why I filter fast. If you want comfort, this is not for you. If you want to hide, this is not for you. If you want a paycheck without responsibility, this is not for you. Here's the truth. If you cut corners in your personal life, you'll cut corners in business. If you lie at home, you will lie here. If you break your word anywhere, you will break it everywhere. I study patterns. I watch behavior. I look at fruit, not slogans. Consistency tells me who you really are. No hiding, no time theft, no data mining, no drama, no victim mentality, no blaming everyone else. Time is the most valuable asset you have. How you treat time reveals your entire character. We're in the busiest time of the year. Owners are trying to figure out year end. Some are buying equipment to write off. Some are buying businesses from retiring baby boomers. Some are buying real estate to legally reduce taxes. We just helped a client buy an apartment building last week, their second investment property this year. This is the window. Most owners wait until January and pay the government instead of positioning themselves. The ones who move in December own January. If you want to pay less tax, make more money, buy back your time, use leverage correctly, this is your moment. I'll talk a bit more about that in a little bit. First, I want you to understand who I am, where I come from, and why I lead the way I do. Because if you understand my story, you'll understand my standards. I did not grow up in a perfect home. My parents' separation and divorce started when I was around 5 years old. It went on for more than a decade. There was conflict, court, stress, two parents trying to work and survive while everything at home was unstable. As a kid, I made a promise to myself that I would only get married once and I would never abandon my kids, no matter what it cost me. Fast forward, I became a dad young, 2 kids from a previous relationship before I got married. For years, I fought for custody. My son's mom worked for the county we were fighting in. She lied in court about many different things. Years later, the court found her guilty of lying. I still lost years with my son. He thought I'd abandoned him. He did not know the truth. I had to live with that. This is one of the reasons I'm so intense about being present now with my kids and everybody. I know what it's like to lose time you can never get back. Then came the 2008 real estate crash. At one point, I had over 35 rental properties, 4 land developments. My cash was tied up in projects. When the market collapsed, so did my entire portfolio. I lost nearly everything on paper. At the same time, my body was paying the price for the way I lived. Dirt bikes, crashes, snowmobiles, multiple car accidents, fights, work. I herniated discs in my lower back and my neck. My doctor introduced me to painkillers. For years, I used them on and off responsibly. One season, I stayed on them too long. I found out fast dependence can form. One day, I realized I felt sick without them. That was my wake-up call. I completely cut them out. I did the work. I never went back. That season gave me compassion for people who struggle, but zero tolerance for people who refuse to take responsibility. I grew up poor. I started working young. As a kid, I bought and sold snowmobiles, dirt bikes, cars, and trucks. I was doing big block Chevy engine swaps before I could even legally drive. I was building lowriders and monster trucks while other kids were playing video games. Most men can't do what I do. I don't say that to put anyone down. I say it because that is the reality of my skill set. I learned how to solve problems with my hands before I ever had a laptop. Later, I got married. I stayed unhappily married for 15 years for my kids. Not because I was weak, because I wanted breakfast with my kids every morning and devotions every night. I built my entire house myself. Every trade, framing, electrical, plumbing, finishes, everything. I paid cash, no loan, no bank. I still burn wood in my wood furnace outside for my in-floor heat, hot water for my shop, my house. I can do everything on a job site. I can do it well. I can do it fast. That's why people who actually know me call me a machine. For years, I sat like a sponge and learned from every mentor and coach I could find. I paid to be in rooms with coaches and mentors. I watched how they thought. I watched how they moved. I listened more than I talked. One of my mentors, Jerry, taught me land development and real estate tricks you do not find in books or courses. Another mentor put me on $10 million custom framing jobs on Lake Minnetonka when I was a teen. I framed houses most carpenters would be scared to touch. I built custom homes up in Nisswa on the chain of lakes near Brainerd. I built restaurants in the Mall of America in Minnesota. I've developed neighborhoods with streets named after me, like Trester Court in Dassel, Minnesota. Did some townhomes. Most of my mentors are gone now. They died. I used to call them when I was stuck. Now people call me when they are stuck. There may be 2 or 3 people alive who can do what I do across this many lanes. Construction, real estate, land development, business systems, AI and automation, coaching and pattern recognition, That's when I realized something important. I do not actually have any competition. Nobody else is doing this exact combination at this level with this story. Not with these scars, not with this portfolio, not with this mix of technical skill, street experience, business, and spiritual alignment. So I had a choice: stay quiet and pretend I'm like everyone else, or accept the responsibility that comes with this calling and skill set. Increase my voice, increase my impact, help more people. I chose the second path, not because I want attention, because I feel, but because I have this level of ability and do not use it to help people. It's on me. There's another reason I stayed quiet for so long. Growing up, my family and my church taught me not to be prideful. Do not make yourself the center. Do not seek the spotlight. Stay humble. Stay small. So I avoided public platforms. I'm naturally an introvert. I help people in private. I serve in the background. I did not talk about what I've built. I did not talk about what I survived. I did not talk about what I knew. But there is a difference between humility and hiding. Hiding your gifts is not humility, it's fear. If God gives you the ability to help people and you hide it because you're afraid of being judged, that is not noble. That is disobedience. I also never did this kind of public teaching when I was married or even when I was in relationships. Every time I tried to speak publicly or pour into people online, it created accusations that motives were never true. So I chose to stay silent, avoiding unnecessary conflict at home. I'm in a different season now. My responsibility is bigger. The number of people I can help is bigger. The urgency is bigger. In my story, my scars, my experience, my skills, my faith, if it can help one person avoid losing their family, their business, their mind, their future, then it's worth it to me stepping in the light. If I can help one person from lying to themselves and start leading, it's worth it. If I can help one owner reclaim their life and reclaim their time, it's worth it. I'm not interested in fame. I'm not interested in being a celebrity. I'm interested in calling out and building the 1% who are ready to lead with integrity. I've lived through divorce, betrayal, market crashes, addiction scares, custody battles, and being lied about, being judged, being misunderstood. I'm still here, aligned, clear, sober, focused, building, fathering, leading. If you want a coach or advisor who has been through anything, I'm not your guy. If you want someone who's actually lived it, survived it, rebuilt, and still shows up with integrity and drive, then we might be aligned. That's who I am. Now let me shift into something that changes lives every day. Leverage. Leverage is the difference between men who stay stuck and men who rise. Most people live their entire lives using their bare hands. High performers use levers. There are 4 types of leverage: time leverage, money leverage, systems leverage, people leverage. Time leverage means you stop trading hours for dollars. You stop stamping every problem with your name. You stop being the bottleneck in your own company. Money leverage means you stop letting cash sit still. You put it into assets. You put it into systems. You put it into equipment that earns. You put it into companies you can buy, not companies you have to build from scratch. Systems Leverage means you stop surviving on memory, chaos, and scattered notes. You create clarity. You create a pipeline. You build automations. You make every dollar and every hour do its job. People leverage means you stop trying to do life alone. You surround yourself with people who share standards, vision, and hunger. You let go of people who drain, distract, and destroy your momentum. Let me give you a real story about leverage. One contractor tried to run his whole business off text messages. He forgot follow-ups. He missed deals. He believed he needed more leads. He didn't. He needed leverage. We installed CRM. We added AI employees. We built a real owner schedule. He reclaimed 40 hours a month, more than a full work week. Another owner waited until January every single year. He sent tens of thousands to taxes, never invested in systems, never used leverage. His next year always looked like his last. Most owners wait until January and pay the government instead of positioning themselves. The ones who move in December own January. Now let's talk about something that most contractors and investors never see coming. The baby boomer wave. I've been working on this for 20 years. 1/3 of America's entire population are the baby boomers. They're entering the 65 to 85 age window. This is the window where healthcare consumption quadruples. It does not matter what the economy does. People age. The government system must grow. And in Minnesota alone, that means $12 to $18 billion in healthcare expansions already funded. Recessions do not cancel Medicare. Tariffs do not cancel aging. Budgets do not cancel biology. This is why there's 42,000 beds short in Minnesota. This is why hospitals, clinics, senior housing, behavioral health, surgical centers, specialty clinics are expanding nationwide. If you're waiting for retail and office to rebound in 2026, you're 20 years late. The real money is in healthcare, public infrastructure, municipal projects, and specialty institutional construction. I've built specialized crews. I positioned myself long before this moment came. Now my pipeline is $200 to $900 million at least for this year already. My biggest problem is which packages to take. This is not bragging. This is preparation meeting opportunity. This is why I coach. This is why I speak. This is why I'm building my tribe. Contractors and investors call me from Minnesota, Texas, Florida, California, Georgia, Arizona, and New York asking for help. I'm flying to Florida soon for some real estate deals and coaching clients. Then I'm going to Texas, then California, then New York. The demand is national because the problems are national. Let me tell you why skilled labor is in crisis. Baby boomers are retiring faster than we can replace them. We do not have enough HVAC companies. We don't have enough electrician companies. We don't have enough plumbers. We don't have enough pipe fitters, carpenters, iron workers, or demolition crews. This is why I say the season belongs to the prepared. The trade shortage is the greatest wealth transfer in American construction history. The men and women who use leverage, integrity, structure, and alignment will own this decade. The ones who ignore it will be swallowed by it. Now let me give you another truth most people avoid. The world will pay you exactly what you're worth in the marketplace. Not what you think you deserve, not what you hope for, what you are actually worth based on your skill set, your discipline, your results, and your integrity. If you want to earn more, you must be worth more. Increase your discipline. Increase your skill set. Increase your leverage. Increase your standards. If you do not rise to the level of your dreams, you rise to the level of your preparation and your character. Let me shift into something deeper again. There are 4 areas of health every leader must develop: financial health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. If your finances collapse, it affects everything. If your mind collapses, it affects everything. If your emotions collapse, it affects everything. If your spirit collapses, it affects everything. This is why I only work with people that are aligned. People willing to grow in all 4 areas. Not perfect people, but growing people. Now let me tell you something about tribe. Everyone has a tribe. Everyone is a leader to someone. Everyone has people watching how they move. Your tribe are the people who respond to calling in your standard. I do not need millions. I do not need thousands. I only need 100 aligned people with integrity, hunger, and teachability. People who will take what I teach and apply it. People who will build companies, lead families, and set standards. If what I'm saying resonates with you, you're part of that tribe. If it makes you uncomfortable or defensive, that is your indicator this message is not for you. Now let me talk practically about where you're at right now. We have weeks left in the year. That is the season to reposition yourself. Real estate, business acquisitions, equipment purchases, systems and automation, coaching and structure, it's all a write-off. It's all leverage. It is all positioning for 2025. If you want to give your money to the IRS, wait until January 1st. If you want to legally reduce your tax and strengthen your business, move now. Now let me talk about team and access. When you work with me, you get real humans. My team is available 24 hours a day. Not bots, not unanswered emails, not customer service tickets. Real people who know your name and your goals. When you hire me, you get me. Not a junior coach, not an amateur, not a beginner, not someone learning on your time. You get decades of experience, scars, and results. If you want to take your business or your life to the next level, here's what you do. Text or call 763-373-4478. You'll reach a real person on my team 24 hours a day. We'll walk you through the first step. We'll help you understand your options. If you want to apply directly, use this link below at kingdomcoaching.pro. If you want a scheduled strategy call, use the link and we'll do a free blueprint for you. Again, it's 763-373-4478. If you belong in my world, we'll know instantly. If not, this message already sorted you out. Welcome to the next standard. Welcome to the tribe.